Hello, this is the setting up and printing pages video. Very often I will make spreadsheets and I will make them in order to be able to print on the page or save as a PDF. And I've set the border lines for the page, and you say save as PDF and it works perfectly and everything's great. However, those printing settings are set up per printer and not for the spreadsheet, which means when I set it up, I'm setting up according to my printer. When I email it to you, if you've got a different printer, it may change those borders. And if you've got different settings for your printer, it might change those borders. And then what happens is, you know the drill, you've done this before, you print the page and you all of a sudden print 2 pages, and one page has got most of the data on, there's a thin strip down the second page, and you're like, why is it doing this? If you go to view and then page break, you'll see where the border lines are. So this one, if I'd set it up on the green board and all of a sudden you've got it set up there, now all of a sudden you've got more pages printing. So if I had set it up to the boundary, what would have happened was I would have had that situation. And now all of a sudden you've got a white border around there because your printer settings are different. You can just drag the border and drag it to where it ought to be. And then you can go back to view normal, and you can go back to your page. And then when you save it as a PDF, it'll print where it ought to print. And usually when I've made a spreadsheet, I've made it and I've colored it and I've hidden the cells, and you can see exactly where the border ought to be. So you can just drag it to the correct place. And obviously if you've made the spreadsheet yourself and someone else is using it, they can follow these same instructions. If you do realize that you drag the border, and sometimes if you keep dragging borders and moving them around, Excel gets a bit confused as to where they ought to be. And sometimes it just creates panic and it prints in a tiny little bit in the middle of the page and you don't quite know what's going on. So what you can do if that does happen is actually just go back to the page layout and go to print area and just say clear print area, and it'll go back to what it was right at the beginning. And then you can go back and say page break preview, and you can move them around again. Drag it open to see where there's a line, move them around again, and then back to normal again. So you can drag the borders, you can move it around. Even if the spreadsheets are locked, you can still do that. That's not a problem. That's still accessible, just to make sure that it prints as it ought to. And as I said, most of my spreadsheets, especially the report pages and those kind of things, should be printable to PDF or savable, printable or savable as a PDF, in which case they really should be correct, but they might need to be set up to your printer. So that's how you do it. View, page break, drag the borders, and then when you don't stay in this view because it sometimes slows the spreadsheet down, go back to normal once you've finished, and it should be working fine. So thank you very much. Bye-bye.